Oh, what do you use to make pixel art? I want to make some games I can already code. Can you? All right, so there's a few softwares you guys can use for pixel art. My favorite one thus far, I saw some other ones that are out there. I haven't tried them yet. Let's see. Let's try some. Pixel art tools. There's a lot of them. The best art tools for making pixel art. That's pretty impressive pixel art. It's hard to disagree with that. Sprite. You can get it for free. I'm always about free. And then there's Pixel Edit. I've seen this one. I've seen people use that one. That one's really popular. I've seen people use this graphic scale one. Yeah, Duelist. I've seen. I was watching some tutorials. I believe it's free. Let's download it. Cost free. Yeah. All right. Let's download, install version, and then Sprite. It says buy now. Can I install? How do I zoom? How do I scroll? How do I rotate? See the selection. Ooh, you can rotate? Now that's what? Oh, there's no. So tutorials? Oh, Mort uses it? I didn't know that. I like that guy. See if there's a trial version. No, you gotta buy it. I mean, it's only $15, but I already have these other ones that I use, so why spend money? Let me read some other questions. Have a good one. Someone's gonna leave. I'll see you later, Mace. I know you just head out, but see you later. And then to Cody, when you leave, have you heard of Dead Cells? Heck yeah, I've heard it. I have it. I've been playing it. Question for later. How can you tell when you are skilled enough to start hunting for work? Okay, that's a good one. It's 100% pixel art, but the characters are 3D modeled with a pixel rendering, which isn't really nice. It's 2D Dark Souls. Yeah, that's what I figured. I was playing it and I figured that's what they were doing. In fact, I plan on doing something very similar because I think you can get a lot with that. But I was looking at games like Ori, and Ori is really nice. So this is the one that I like to use for animating. I also like to use Photoshop, but so let me talk about this one. This one's just pretty good. It's just your straight pixel art type thing. All the options are really simple. Why is it so big? Let's do 96, 996. There you go. I don't like to draw in pixel art because although there's some benefit to drawing in pixel art because you can kind of see pixel perfect what you're going to get. But what I like about it is you can change the hotkeys. So there's all these hotkeys you can change. And I changed a lot of them. But I'm starting to learn that maybe I should, especially for like my lo-fi pixel art games, I should go ahead and just learn how to do some more pixel art, like officially the way that it's done and by professionals, professional pixel art artists. But I actually do a different approach. So that's Pixel is one of them, and it's free. Piscal. And then there's the other one that I just downloaded. So let's see if this one's any good. I mean, really, you just need to pick a software and just start doing stuff with it. Okay. I changed the background or well, they leveled up their interface because the one that I was looking at was like garbage, but this one's clearly new. So let's do a new. Dang, dude, 8-bit. Let's get on the 8-bit. All right. Oh, so this is like just like a shape tool. Cool. All right. So then this is to draw. Oh, this is like oh, you can do curves. Oh, this is. Oh, look at that! Like zoomed in pixel. This is like definitely a pro pixel art tool. I bet. How do I stop? Do I just like click on another? Oh, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how to stop. Like, I don't know how to secure the kill. I'm sure there's like some hotkey. Oh, right click. I see. Oh, you can do like transforms. That's nice. Can you rotate it? The rotating is something that I don't have in Piscal that I wish I did. All right, but where's like the actual like drawing? Is this it? There you go. And then can I increase the size? Brackets is usually default. I'm sure there's some hotkey for it. So far, this is pretty good. Spacebar to, yeah, but I'll have to mess with this some more to be able to get more out of it, because this is my first time using it. And so I haven't really had enough experience with this to really say it's good or not. And so, but right out of the bat, I think this is pretty cool. It seems like it's very robust. Is this for animation? What is this? No, not sure what that is. Is that onion skin? And then this is animation down here. Okay, you can adjust the frame rate there. But how do I add another frame? That's making new layers. There's text. That's nice. So this is selecting everything. Yeah, I'd have to mess with this some more. But I like it right off the bat. There's a lot of um, very simple stuff that I would need, but it seems like I'd still feel pretty comfortable in Photoshop. Does this add a new frame? Yeah, I think so. And then how do I hit play? Just play the animation? No? Oh yeah, look, there's the going right there. Like crappy little animation. I like that it saves your swatches. There's a lot of stuff here that's pretty good. Just one quick thing for me to really spend even more time on this. Can I change hotkeys? And the answer is it seems like I might be able to. I don't know what this does. Oh, you can like adjust like the menus? Whoa. All right. Yeah. I'll have to play with this a little bit more. Oh, looks like, yeah, this is the hotkeys. Yeah. So there's no hotkeys. Duplicate into the left, duplicate. Yeah. So I can make hotkeys. And there's so many options. There's so many tools. So this might be something worth investing some time to get really good at. But um, there's quite a few out there. Like yeah, Photoshop. Photoshop, hands down, is my favorite to design in because I just feel the most comfortable. And I'll show you how to do that right now. And as I'm doing that, um, yeah, Owlboy does have a really good pixel art too. But how to answer the question, how can you tell when your work is skilled enough? Well, one of the things that you can do, and it's one thing that I tell people to do all the time, is go to ArtStation and put your work up against the work found on ArtStation. or any other professional art website. Okay, like find a website that has like professional work that you appreciate and respect, and then put it up against that, and then ask yourself if your work is good enough to be amongst these great artists. And if the answer is no, then you're not good enough. It's really that simple. But if your work's starting to get close enough, then you're getting good enough. You're getting close enough. But then when should you apply? Well, you should apply always. You should get rejected often, so you can know when you're getting closer. Because if you keep it to yourself, it's harder to tell whether you're doing good work or not, you know? And if you show it to other people and they tell you how terrible you are, then it's really helpful. I had a student who got rejected from a bunch of reviews, and he was really depressed about it, and he was really sad, and he's like, I feel like giving up. And I was like, why? Because they didn't like your artwork? And I was like, that's going to happen. You're going to get rejected. And he was totally not going to go to the event either. He was just going to stay home and whatever, like this event that he applied to. And I was like, that's stupid. You should still go to the event and just get your stuff reviewed. And he did. And he went, and it was the best time he had. He learned a lot. He got a lot of great reviews from really respected artists. And he realized that he was being, super insecure about it. And he was taking it way too personal. And I told him, like, you just got to get better at art always. And you got to show your work to people so that they can give you honest feedback. And that's what he did. And so you should always be applying when you can, or if you can. But to know whether you're good or not, you can just look. Like, that's the great thing about our field, is that you can just see whether you're good or not. You can look at your artwork and be like, yeah, not good. Or as good as my favorite artists that work in the places that I want to work. How to break down learning mech designs into easier chunks. The first chunk that you probably want to learn, just like learning how to paint characters, you got to learn like the anatomy and perspective and stuff like that. So with mechs, it's the same idea. Like, you got to learn like basic mechanical functionality. Just basic. You don't need like have like an engineering degree at the end of your studies, but you should definitely have an understanding of basic joint movement and pistons and stuff like this. Basic level. And so that way you can replicate them in your drawings. If you don't, then it's going to be much more challenging. All right. So check this out. It's easier if you guys ask me the questions outright instead of writing them down. Appreciate you guys writing them down. So Nikita.
Yeah, so what's the most efficient way you found for yourself to paint efficiently and fast?
Oh, timing myself.
Quality.
Timing myself often. So like, as I'm making games, right, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to make a game a week, like a full-fledged game, and it seems really hard, and it is. But
so basically create a tight schedule for yourself to follow.
Yeah, when you do that, then you start to cut the fat. You start to get rid of the things that slow you down, because you're like, I can't be spending all my time on this because I won't get anything done. Type of thing happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you do that with anything, really, you just get more effective. Like, have you ever played a video game where it's like time trials?
Yeah.
And as you play the game more and more, you start to notice like nuances of the game. Like, you notice like, hey, this corner, if I like hit my brakes right at this corner and then hit the acceleration right at this other aspect of the corner, I can do like a super sharp turn and get past this part. Like I can shave like 5 seconds
Yeah,
off
I
my
get what you
time. Like you wouldn't do that if you weren't timed. You would just race the race, you know?
mean.
But because you're timed, now you're thinking about it. Like there's a power in competition, right? And if there's no competition, because art is, it's hard to compete against other people in art because art has some subjectivity to it. You know what I mean? There is objectivity, like meaning that if you want to work for a company that makes, excuse me, if you want to make a game that makes realistic, racing, or work on a game that makes realistic racing, then you have to have artwork that simulates realistic cars, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you have to
Yeah.
have drawings that look realistic to work on realistic projects. So that's not subjective. That's pretty objective. But then within that field of work, right? There's one artist that has just the kind of things that the people are looking for, and it's just because that's what they're looking for, right? And so then when you are trying to compete in that way, it becomes more challenging because you don't know really what it is that you're competing against.
Mhm.
But then if you create your own limitations, like I'm going to get this painting done in an hour, you know what I mean? Then you have some sort of objectivity. You have something that you can say, oh, I was only able to get half of it done in an hour. Why? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So the same process, like doing and analyzing, fixing the process, and do it again.
Yeah. And then um, and I just take notes and I just read and watch and study a lot, almost all the time. I just try to understand the fastest way to get something done. Right.
Got
And I
it.
just try to understand it at a very macro level. So I'm going to give you an example with this pixel art stuff. So I spent like a week or two just understanding pixel art. Like, how can I get it? So I was like, okay, the fastest thing that I can probably do is paint the way that I paint, you know,
Mhm.
and then just pixelize it. So how do I pixelize what I do? Well, one thing that you can do is you can downres it like this, bring it down to like 100. See, and when you do this, it tells you actually the pixel weight or the height and width right there. You see it?
Mhm.
And so I bring it to about 100, I hit enter, and then I bring it back up, and enter again, and bam, pixel art. Right? Done. But it's not that simple because this is what happens if you guys were to do it. All right, this is what would have happened. Okay, you ready? So you bring it down to about 100 pixels, and then you bring it back up to about where it was. Look, it's looking great. Oh, what the? All right, see how it's all blurred?
Yeah.
So what did I do differently? Well, you might
You
have noticed.
choose the method.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might have noticed as I was doing, I went up here and I changed something. And so when you first have Photoshop open, it's actually, I believe, on bilinear or bicubic. It's basically using one of these other ones, which is like an algorithm that tries to smooth out the pixels, which is actually really good when resizing images to be a little bit larger or a little bit smaller. Not like dramatically larger or dramatically smaller, but just a little
Yeah.
bit larger and a little bit smaller. It will make it look nice. It looks like you just made it bigger, right? So like if we were to uh, do that, like if we were to just make this bigger now with the bilinear thing, right? If we were just empty pixels, this is not empty. Clearly, I'm on this low layer. Oh, I see. Um, and then we just make this a little bit bigger. See, it doesn't seem like anything's changed. It seems like I just made it bigger, which is what we want if we're just like trying to paint like something, you know?
Mhm.
We don't want it to be pixelated. But at this size, even if you left it um, at nearest neighbor, which is what you need to do, even if you upres it, it still seems the same because there's so many pixels. It's actually hard to tell that it's like pixelating the edges. See that?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to a little bit smaller sizes, that will be much noticeable. All right. So I figured that that's what you needed to do. I looked into it, and that's what you do. And then look, I got this like pixel art looking character, which is really cool. Okay, but there's a few other problems that I ran into. So I was like, okay, so now let's paint a character. Let me go ahead and like do where it's opposite side of the thing. I have to have the alarm, otherwise I'll forget to pick up my daughter. I have it on increments of 5 minutes, so you guys have a few more. And to answer that question, what game engine am I using? I'm using Construct 3. So, Cody, you're going to listen in that later. And so then, you can paint this in here, or whatever the design is. And this is answering your question still, right? Like, it's like, how do you become more efficient at a thing? This is what I do. I just test and play and test and try and read and time myself all the time, right? So then once I did this, it's okay, now I have like this silhouette, right? So this should be good. So I can get the PNG, perfect,
Mm-hmm.
And so then we can do the nearest neighbor thing again. So let's go ahead and make the duplicates. So we can go bring it down about 100. It's going to be even more pixelated, but it's fine. All right, awesome. But there's actually a problem that would have occurred. It's not doing it now, actually. Oh no, it's there. I see it. Okay.
Semi-transparent pixels.
Huh?
Semi-transparent pixels.
Yes. You already got it. So see this pixel right here? This one right here? This one that I'm circling? That's actually not a light blue pixel. It's a semi-transparent because when I bring it over here, see that?
Mm-hmm.
See how it's changing colors? Now, with Construct, it's actually not a big deal. Construct doesn't deal with those transparent pixels perfectly, actually. I was shocked. But I don't like it because those are colors that are going to change depending on where it's behind, and I don't want that to happen. So I realized that when you're painting with a like when you're painting with like a hard brush, right? See that?
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these edges aren't actually hard. Like some of them are softer. You see?
Yeah.
So then I had to use new brushes that I made that are hard. They're the same thing. They're hard brushes, but they're pixel brushes. It's a pencil.
Mm-hmm.
So that means there is no transparent corners. Like, so even though this looks rounded, it's rounded just because that's that many pixels are there. You see that?
Yeah.
From afar, it looks fine, but from up close, you can see that there's no smoothing. It's just pixel by pixel making that rounded corner. And then that was my workaround to getting that. And so then I have built a system. So we use pixel-based brushes, like pencil brushes, and you can add opacity to them. And it's actually kind of cool because when you paint inside of this with like a brush that you can do like this cool kind of blocky, like I made like these cool pixel-like brushes. And I did the same thing in Procreate. I created brushes that did the same thing. And so now if we scale this up and down, it should work fine. And there should be no issues. And then this will save out perfectly as a great non-transparent cornered, like everything that I'm adding some smoothness on the inside here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because of, makes it look nice and interesting.
Also, quick question. You don't use brushes, but tool presets instead.
Yeah, I was trying the brushes for a while, but then I went to tool presets because I have less of them and it's just easier.
Mm-hmm.
But see, now I have a really pixel perfect image here, and then I can erase and adjust the pixels from here.
Yeah.
And And so then once I was able to do all of this, everything that I just showed you right now, okay? Once I was able to do all of that, then I timed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, how fast can I do a pixelated character? Do you understand?
Yeah. So you make the base, learn the base, then just
Learn
become more
the
efficient.
foundations of whatever I like. Learn, get all the tool stuff out of the way, so then I can get to practicing what I want to get good at. That's the last 5 minutes I got. All right. So watch. I'm gonna do a 5 minute painting now. Let's do a 5 minute painting.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, but if you do not practice with a quantifiable way to learn, meaning like you don't have a way to gauge your progress,
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to be harder to become more proficient. Got it?
Yeah. So always measure what you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, you have to. Otherwise, you don't know if you're getting better. You're always
Mm-hmm.
living in this world of like, I think I'm getting better, where you can be like, no, I painted this thing like in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
it used to take me like 5 hours. Now I can do it in 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that can
I
happen
have
for
had
any of
such
you guys.
projects.
Would you say?
I had such projects where I was spending 2 days on a picture, like pixel-based, simple shapes. But now the same customer came back to me. So I do the same stuff in 5 times less time, I guess.
Yeah,
So
because
it's half a day. Yeah.
because you got a little bit better. You understood the project a little bit more, and so then you're getting wiser on the things that you need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't practice timing yourself, you won't see that. Like you were able to understand that after working with the client and then working with them again, and you're like, oh, this is actually going much faster because you already
Yes.
had some time and you had some quantifiable way of seeing it because you remember how long it took you before. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, any other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just asked a quick question in the
Yeah,
chat.
go for it.
So, with this timing exercise that you were suggesting we do, for the iterations, that might be better. You might be able to hear me better now.
Yeah, I can hear you way better now. Thanks.
Okay. How long would you suggest we take to render and polish up the characters for the next part of the exercise? And then how
For
long
about
for
an
the actual
hour. For
Okay.
like an hour on like the one and then moving on to the next one.
Okay. And then with the actual iteration bit where we're messing around and distorting, changing the character, do we stick for an hour with that or?
Yeah, I like to
Okay.
spend about an hour and then move on to the next thing and then
Okay.
spend another hour. And then like if I feel like I need to come back and work on the other ones, then I do. But then I always just kind of go in these hour increments.
Okay.
I think an hour is like more than enough time for all levels of people. In fact, I think most people don't spend an hour; they spend a lot longer.
Mhm.
And then some people spend a lot less. Like, I think you should spend a good hour, like working on your thingy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep. Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, because any more time than that, you might start losing the bigger picture.
Mhm.
Especially, like I said, like if you're just starting out. For me, I can get to the point where I can get my full idea done in the first 5 to 10 minutes,
Mhm.
as you're seeing right now. It's happening in front of your eyes,
Yeah.
right? But that's because I've trained in it. You know, it's not like I was like, it used to take me like to do something of this quality, like which I still think I need to spend a good lot, like another 5 to 10 minutes to go before I felt like it was really decent. But even like this quality, like when I first started out, like this 5 minute drawing that I'm now doing, like this would have taken me hours.
Okay.
You know, and what I realized is the reason why it took me hours then is because I didn't know a lot and I just kept guessing. And then when I would guess wrong, then I'll have to correct it, and all that extra time was into correcting. You know, If you don't want to keep correcting, then just do it right the first time. And
Yeah.
the only way to be able to do it right the first time is to build that proficiency, both in your tools and your methods, right? Feel confident at every little stage of the game. And the only way to really do that is to practice it. And timing is one of the best ways to practice it, because you can quantify that, right? And you can do long stretches of time too, guys. It's not all like 10-minute, 1 hour stretch paintings. Like you can do like, okay, I'm going to try to finish a whole painting, like a completed painting from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
in 10 hours. And I'll spend like 2 hours on one day and 2 hours the next day and just go all the way to the 10-hour mark. And regardless of how I feel about it, I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to do another 10-hour painting next week and see how far I can take that painting. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you can do longer stretches of time too for more completed works and portfolio-like pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was where I read it from, but someone saying that the most important bits of a painting that you do are generally done within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You learn the most within the first 15 minutes, and whatever comes afterwards is just
refinement.
Exactly, yeah.
Or correction. And so for me, I actually discovered that like 5 years ago. I realized that in the first hour I can get everything I needed. And then I was like, can I bring that hour down to 45 minutes? Can I bring that 45 minutes down to 30? Can I bring that 30 down to 15? And now I'm at the stage of, can I do it in 5?
Right, yeah.
I don't think any of you guys are at that level just yet. So don't feel like, AJ can get his thing done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Why can't I? It's like, no, man, I've been doing this for like nearly a decade. That's why. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But you guys will be expedited, like, because you guys had that knowledge. I'm sharing with you guys, and I'm showing you exactly why it works and how it works. I had to learn it the hard way. You guys don't need to. You guys make your own mistakes, make different mistakes and failures, not the same as I did. So something that took me like 5 years to learn, you guys can learn in 2 to 3. You understand? And then your pupils or your students in the future can learn it maybe in a year and a half. You know what I mean? And then they'll have their own things to worry about, like VR art, whatever is something, whatever tools are out that are like really amazing, And so, but anyway, that's it, guys. Got to go. Got to run. Literally.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Quick question. Oh, is that what you were asking?
Yeah. That was me.
That was just your question. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys next week. Work hard, play hard. Hang out with each other outside of class. Don't always just wait till class starts. You guys can talk to each other whenever you want. Skype is always available for you guys to use. Peace out and talk soon. Laters. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please subscribe to watch more in the future. If you like the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you like this content, you can go to my website, robotpencil.net, where you can find mentorships, tutorials, and a Patreon to get more exclusive content. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in my next videos.